Hello all. Okay, so in this video here at the Truckfest event in Scotland at the Royal Highland Centre in Ingliston, just on the outskirts of Edinburgh basically. Big massive lorry show, like trucks from all over the country, massive event. So I just literally came in apart at the, came in and got checked in there, go through the turnstiles, and there's a lot to see here. It's for the 2nd of August and the 3rd of August 2025. That's a weekend event. Well, I only managed the today, like Thursday. I was working yesterday, so I'm just going to take footage throughout the day, just various videos and that, various photos and videos. Just I can't like film every single thing. There's even in the centre arena and stuff going on there as well. So just random pictures and that, but tons and tons of lorries. So I'll just do that then throughout my visit here this Sunday afternoon. So it's from yesterday and today. It's a 2-day thing, Saturday, Sunday. But there is a calendar of events where they go around the whole of the UK as well, which Truckfest things. So anyway, I'll get some footage for you, pictures mainly, video clips, etc. So you'll probably hear the airport as well, because it's right next to the Edinburgh airport, the Royal Highland Centre. So they hold these events here in Scotland. It's once a year as well. So I'll just be randomly taking photos and videos all throughout. There's so much, obviously I'm not going to get everything, so I'll just be random ones here and there, and I'll share some of it with you. The American Peter. American Peter box. So I saw they've got like a wee remote control. Well, it's quite a big remote control actually. That's a remote control truck. So I'm just surrounded with Scanias, and there's a couple of Mercedes there as well, just up front. And this isn't even started. There is loads and loads of trucks. I mean, you need a weekend actually just to go around it all, to be honest. Unless you've got the centre arena. There's other things as well. We've got like stalls and big wheel. It's not the big wheel. Maybe it's not the best shot, but it's there anyway. You might just see it in there. Just looking at the side on here. Big wheels here. There's other things like monster truck rides as well. It's quite expensive, but it's a big profile event. This one's got the monitors instead of wing mirrors. Similar to that, to what I drive on the buses. They've got monitors on a fleet of their buses. I personally prefer mirrors. I prefer wing mirrors, but they still have the mirror for the front overhang blind spot and the front blind spot, but the monitors, the electronic monitors, cameras and that for the wing mirrors replacement. But see, I've driven them on the buses like that, but I do prefer original mirrors. That's my personal preference. You can see more with them anyway, because you can move your head and you can see more with the mirror. You can even adjust the mirror. Anything goes on the cameras. I've never been a fan of the monitor cameras. Like if any dirt goes in the small camera lens, that's your whole wing mirror, and your eyes are, that's your wing mirrors are your eyes and ears. And if the camera goes down and anything like that's expensive, and it could go off completely. Whereas if a mirror gets broken, you can still see with it partially until you get to a safe place. And you can, as I say, you can adjust and tilt your head and move and see more visually with a mirror. That's my view anyway. I prefer mirrors. I always have. So as I say, I don't drive the lorries, but regarding the buses, it's the same setup as what they have in the fleet of buses that I drive as well. I still have mirrors, but I always prefer mirrors. It's just one fleet that have mirrors. Good old fashioned wing mirrors is my preference every time. So you can see the smoke of the exhaust stacks and that, the straight pipes on that Scania. So like I say, that's the cameras that you're seeing. That's the other monitor there, that's the driver's side monitor. The passenger side one is just inside the cab there. That's the mirrors that they use to replace the wing mirrors. Well, that's what they're doing on buses and lorries. I still personally prefer mirrors every time. I always stick with original mirrors. That's my preference. I don't like monitors and cameras. That's my view of it. I don't like the idea at all. So mirrors every time for me. So this will be the Scania V8. I think it's 16 litre or something. V8 cylinders. I'm sure its cubic capacity tallies up to something like 16 litre. 750 brake horse, is it? Something like that. It's pretty high horsepower anyway. I think it's the highest in the for a commercial, for a commercial truck. I think it's the highest you'll get. 770 brake horsepower or something like that anyway. Well, that sounds absolutely brilliant. That lorry is just pulled out there. Straight pipes, absolutely excellent sound. That lorry sounded absolutely brilliant. Straight pipes as it's leaving the think they're leaving. I'm not sure what they're doing, if it's just going on. It's still early days yet, it's only like back at 1, so I'll probably be on about 5, 6 o'clock or something like that. I've been to these things before. I haven't been for ages, like, but I've been to Truckfest before. It's quite expensive, but it's worth it. There's a lot to see. Well, it's expensive. You're not going to get in unless you pay, so that's when you've got to pay. So I always fork out the expense. It's £10 to park as well, so if you're coming back up. So I just pay the money. I brought my own food and things. It is dear, but it's that's that. But at least within here, there's lots of good, interesting, big variety of trucks to see. And there's also the show as well. We've got like arenas and stuff. So I'm just going to work my way up here. So there's hundreds of trucks. I mean, I'm not going to hit them all. So I'm just going to, as I say, just randomly take some footage and photos for you. You really need to be here and probably spend the whole weekend just to see everything. Well, you're never going to see everything, but to see a considerable amount anyway. So that's it's a plain view of the bottom.
Where's he going?
They do have an old classic bus as well, looks like the back of the Route Master there. So it is a large commercial vehicle show, trucks. So you do get a handful of buses as well. So have a wee look at that as well. Sort of solar panel on it, but it looks for more than something. It's fully electric, this, and it's going to be some size of battery to power this thing. Plus all the accessories, a big hoik there, hydraulic ram, crane and everything. So this was the route. Well, it's not Route Master, it's a Leyland. So it's used as a cafe like, and it's quite good. Vintage bus bar. So that's what I was seeing earlier. It's basically an old bus converted into a cafe. So you sometimes do get buses, but it's obviously Truckfest. But I've been to one before where there's been a bus sitting there, a couple of buses and that. So I've got stuff with us anyway. It'll probably be quite expensive. So as I say, I'm limiting what I spend. If I spend enough getting there, it's £25 adult to get in, plus your £10 parking. That's £35. So I don't really want to know what the price of the burgers and stuff is. So just, as I said, I've got stuff with us, and you can spend an absolute fortune. And I'm not doing that. And you get to see the lorries, and that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, I'm going to continue on looking around. This is this electric tipper crane as well. So all the crane and hydraulic rams will be the same, but it's just powered with electric. That'll be the cells. That'll be all the high voltage batteries down there, I'd assume, where the fuel tanks will be positioned in the same place on the chassis. Weight distributing, there'll be some on the other side as well. All the orange wires are high voltage wires, charge point. So there'll be all your powertronics and that in position where the engine was. Oh, your like inverter and DC converter and all the rest of it. So that's my hydraulic tank, a stainless steel drum. So you need to be like an electrician and a computer whiz kid to help to repair these things, service them. Whereas, you know, the good old fashioned mechanics. I mean, I prefer diesels and internal combustion engines, that's what's my nostalgic preference anyway. But to fix one of those out, you still have your usual brakes and steering and that. Suspension, which will be the standard. I'll be updated for the extra weight, of course, for the batteries. But other than that, you'll be a computer genius and an electrician and, you know, spark the. It's not like your auto electrician, it's high voltage electrician stuff. Auto electrician is different, 24, 12 volts. Well, it's 24 volts with normal accessories on any lorry bus. Your power trains, your power driveline will be high voltage. I mean, I don't know, 3,000 volts will be in the thousands, I'm just saying. So maybe hundreds at least. 800 or maybe even a couple of thousand volts to power one of them for the propulsion system at least anyway. Whereas all the accessories, lights and wipers, that'll be a standard 24 volt auto electrician stuff like on any vehicle, truck, you know, commercial bus or lorry. Cars are usually 12 volts for the accessories, power, battery and that, but lorries and buses are 24 volts. And all the accessories will be 24 volt system. Same with the electric, it's just the propulsion system on the electric, and it's in the thousands of volts. Different system, different electrical system altogether. But that's based on my understanding of it anyway, so. But it's certainly not like, as I say, you need to be a computer genius because it's laptops and everything, program all the modules and powertronics and everything. And it won't be cheap, that's for sure. But as I say, I still prefer I've got the nostalgia for the internal combustion engine. You know, that's what I grew up with, that's what I'm familiar with. And I'd like to have them around for as long as anything, anyway, for nostalgic. But I mean, the charge times and the convenience of that, the range isn't matched to what the established internal combustion engines are, to my knowledge anyway. So this will be a dealer lorry, DAF truck. Very plush, smart, tidy machine. These are brand new, I think. I don't think they've even seen the road yet. I think they're just like a proper dealer. Now they too have, this has a monitor as well. See, that's your wing mirrors, which I'm not a fan of. That's your cameras. You know, but that's a fixed image, you can't see any more. So no matter what you move your head, you can't see any more, that's all you're going to see. Whereas with the mirror, you can move your head, tilt the mirror, and you can see more with the mirror. Whereas a monitor, you're restricted. And as I say, one wee bit of dirt goes on that's that whole mirror down. That's my view on it. I've never been a fan of mirrors, never have. Always prefer mirrors, prefer the traditional mirror. That's my view anyway. So, as I say, I've driven buses with them, I know what they're like. But they do them on lorries as well, so. It looks like there's a lot of them that have got these monitor cameras. Whereas the mirrors, good old fashioned mirrors, can't beat them in my view. It's infinite number of views, proper. You just move the head, move the mirror, and you can see as much as you like with them. And if they get damaged or anything on it, you can still use them to a degree. Whereas if the monitor goes down or the camera goes down, you've got nothing. The screen goes blank and that's you. So that's you humped. You're better with a mirror in my view. That's my view anyway, that's all I'm saying. It's just I prefer mirrors. If they get cracked or damaged, at least you've still got something easier to replace too, in comparison. Anyway, it's the arena, there's like a central arena here.
We've got the XT electric.
Missed the crushing cars.
We're showing the motor and the drive unit. We are tilting the cab, the white cab, and you can see it's in full glory. It is the future, ladies and gentlemen, as in a lot of things. Where DAF innovate, everybody follows.
I missed the cars. I've seen it before. So you have a big grand parades and stuff in the centre arena here. So just
one more gone, that means there's not many left. Few left. And sad to say, once they're gone, they're gone.
Your trucks work hard and they deserve the best.
so here's the electric daft truck with the cab tilted, so we're going to see all the powertronics. I'm going to have a look at that actually. This just shows you where the engine would be. It's where all the powertronics are. It's quite interesting, really. So, I mean, as you say, I wouldn't know where to start on this. I wouldn't know the first thing about this. You need to be like a computer genius and an electrician to get your head around all that, because it is just alien to me, as there's a lot of them, I reckon. You need a college degree to understand all this. It's mechanical stuff, you can see the parts, it's more physical, whereas in that it's electrical, electronic, computers as well. But I could probably assume that the batteries will be some cells on this side and some on the other side for weight distribution purposes. All the original, like the suspension's still the same, brakes and all, albeit they won't be used as much because of the regenerative braking systems that are used on electric vehicles. They'll still be used, but not as much. The regenerative braking is really effective actually when it's at speed. It recharges the battery. So it's completely alien to me, like it's not a familiar sight. I'm normally used to seeing it in electric powertronics, but it's still, it'd be interesting just to see how it works and learn bulb knowledge on it. You're still needing the mechanics for the steering and all the rest of it, suspension, brakes and axles, all that kind of stuff. Your auto electricians for your, because it'll still have a 24 volt system for like your light bars, heaters and your accessories and that, lights and that. That'll still be the 24 volt standard system. So your auto electrician will still be needed for that. But all this stuff here for the propulsion system, and electric motors and the battery and that'll be like electricians and computer geniuses and all that kind of thing to understand how all that works. Oh yeah, it's an interesting thing to look at, but as I say, I still prefer the ICE internal combustion engines. That's still what it starts with. So, but still, I want to build the knowledge of what happens anyway. So, your drive axles will still be pretty much the same principle of a differential for getting the drive from the 90-degree angle prop shaft from the electric motor to the back diff, unless it's hub motors, but I'm not sure. I think it's still got a differential as a prop shaft, so the motor will be, it'll be a separate, the motor will be independent to the axle. It's not a hub. The motor's not in the hubs, the motors will be built with somewhere on the chassis, because you've got the prop shaft going from the motor to the rear diff. Some electric vehicles have got the electric motors in the axle, if you know what I mean. They're referred to as hub motors. So as for where the electric motor is, it'll be buried amongst, so it'll be somewhere between the chassis rails, but this thing is just completely kitted out the full length with electrics and powertronics. I wouldn't know where to start, but the batteries I assume will be on the edges, one there and one on that side. You know, there'll be probably about 3 tonne of batteries, 1.5 tonne on each side, I'm guessing. Standard 24 volt batteries for the accessories will be tucked somewhere away as well. I'm not sure just how where they are, but
Good afternoon,
so this thing weighs 11 tonnes. 11 tonne this unit weighs. This is the single axle. 11 tonne. But they're allowed 2 tonne extra because of the additional weight. So it was just here, and it's got 5 batteries. There's 2 on each side of the chassis and there's 1 at the front. 300 mile range, costs quite a bit to chargers. The electric motor is buried where I thought it would be. So there is a battery at the front as well. There's 2 batteries on this side, 2 batteries on that side. You've got your power charger, inverter or powertronics, and where the engine would normally be. Electric motors there, prop shaft to the rear axle is normal. It weighs 11 tonnes and it cost 275 grand. That's what he was saying, so it's quite expensive.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I
think that's the standard batteries in there. That'll be the 24 volt for the accessories and stuff. So this place is massive. I mean, it goes way around the back and everything. It goes all the way around there. There's trucks all over the place. It'll take a day just to get around. I kid you not. I've been there about an hour and 3/4 and I've only still at this side of the arena. There's that much. And the liveries are amazing as well. Some of the paint jobs. And they get some good, rewards, medals and that for the, best presented trucks and everything. There's probably thousands of pounds in it, just the liveries alone, I reckon. Some of the paint jobs are amazing. Tidy. Some car stuff here as well. This is interesting. I like this. I like the drivetrain stuff. I'm going to have a look at that. That's for sure. It's a lot of stuff. A lot of things are interesting. Looks like transmissions and differential gearboxes and brakes as well. ZF. So it's all ZF products here. So yes, quite interesting. Quite happy to be here to see the parts and the units themselves. These are primarily the ZF transmissions, ZF products. That'll be for all different various models of lorries. Clutches as well, but that's what I meant to say earlier, not brakes, clutches, so it works on the same principle. It's friction pad, friction liner and brake flywheel. It works on the same principle as how a braking friction brake system works. It's a differential gearbox here, final drive. Various other automatic transmissions and automated manual transmissions as well. So it's like a manual transmission in that sense, but it's automated. Whereas we get like your fully automatic ones where you've got the torque converter and everything, planetary gears, as in the conventional automatic. I think a lot of these are based on the manual transmissions and they're just automated manuals. It seems to be quite favourable. I think this is probably being installed actually. So it might have been used before. So as I turn the input shaft, you see the output shaft turning slowly. As I turn the input shaft at this speed, there'll be a reduction in speed on the output shaft, which is basically your gearing, which means that all the efforts that I put on this side will be multiplied on the turn on there. So for all the number of turns I put on this side, that will add up and multiply to one powerful turn on this side. So if I put maybe so much force has been multiplied, it's multiplying the torque basically, but reducing the speed accordingly and proportionately as well. That's the principles of how a gearbox works. So the input from the drive, from the engine, will drive that side. This will go to the final drive, which is the differential, which basically drives your rear wheels. This is the output side, so that will be slower but stronger. So if somebody were to try and stop that, they'll have a great deal more of it. They'll have a harder time stopping it from this side than they would at that side. But that'll turn maybe twice as fast. That'll turn half the speed, but it'll be twice as strong because in multiplying the torque. That's the principles, mechanical advantage with gearing. That's the principles of a gearbox. But you've got a torque converter as well, obviously for your stall speed. The engine doesn't stall when it's in gear and that, so it's got two plates with a hydraulic slippage fluid coupling basically. bi-clutch. It's a clutch driven plate, and that's your pressure plate. It's a pressure diaphragms. So the release bearing pushes against that, which opens a spring, takes the pressure off the clutch driven plate to disengage your clutch. This is a dual clutch, dual flywheel or something. There will be actually a dual flywheel coming out of it because it's got to engage one clutch and disengage the other while it's selecting gears for the automated manual. So there's like an input shaft on the input side. For example, on this, you've got the input. I think that's, sure if that's automated, I can't remember. But there's usually two shafts anyway. One turns the even gears, one turns the odd number of gears. Perfect. So this is a automated shift. It's basically the same setup as a manual gearbox. It's not the dual mass flywheel or the dual input shaft like on some of them where you've got an input clutch for the even numbers and then clutch for the odd. This is all like your straight manual. It's the same as a manual, but the auto shift powertronics and automated system sits on the top here, and that controls the shifting forks. So it's the same as any manual transmission, but it's done automatically with the automatic shift system on the top here. That's what the AS basically stands for in a lot of the AS-tronic automatics. So it is just a single input shaft on the transmissions. It's just one single input shaft like on any standard manual transmission, because it is basically the same in that respect. But instead of having a mechanism where the driver will shift the gears himself and a mechanism here on the top to select the gears with the selector forks, it's just done electronically instead. But you do get transmissions where you have an input shaft. You have two input shafts, one within each other. One will turn the even number gears, and the other will turn the odd number gears. And it's basically, you've got a dual clutch where one pre-selects the even before, while the odd one's engaged, it'll pre-select the even number. So it just disengages the odd number shaft clutch and engages the even number shaft simultaneously, and it gives you a quick shift. That's the one I was thinking earlier. These aren't, as I say, these are just standard manuals with automated shift programming and shift system on the top of it. So this is some of the components that will make the automated shift system work. It'll probably work on a hydraulic principle. Will be a hydraulic pump and reservoir. This is just displaying the actual shafts that the gears will sit on. Now these are heavy, it's heavy duty because it's a lorry, it's going to go in. That's the main bearing shaft. These will be heavy as a covered in grease, but there's always grease to protect it from surface rust. That'll be like a solenoid body or something, shift mechanism. That'll have oil gasket there, so again I don't want to handle that, hands will be covered in grease. But that'll be your electronic stuff. That'll be a planet gear carrier. That's selector forks. Maybe clutch box. No. Clutch box or something, ring gears or something. This will be like a hydraulic actuator or something. Intarder for your retarder, basically a brake retarder, like it's built in the transmission. It's intarder. I'm not sure what these things, but it's maybe powertronics coolant case with the aluminium heat sink just to dissipate the heat from the. That's a clutch release fork. Clutch release mechanism. It'll be done electronically, manually, automatically. That'll possibly be the release bearing, perhaps. Not 100% sure. That'll maybe be the hydraulic pump for the hydraulics to operate the actuators for the shifting mechanism. And possibly for the clutch release as well, will be a slave and master cylinder for operating the clutch for the transmission, so it will able to change gear. So there's Scania's. I'm not 100% sure what this is yet. So this is actually to do with the braking system. It's for the trailer brakes. It was just been explained there that this controls the airlines for the brakes, and also there's a leveler switch for the suspension as well. Controls the suspension. It's all done electronically. Tyre pressure valves on the wheels, It works on a 10 centimetre radio wave system, so it's sending signals to the ECU for the tyre pressures. There's wee batteries in the sensors on the wheels. But this is all interlinked with the transmission and the engine, so when you're braking it works together, because you've got hydraulic retarders and everything that works with the braking system. So it's all done and controlled electronically, so they work together, all the systems work together. Very complex, but yeah, that's what this is. It's not what I thought that might have been in conjunction with the shift for the transmission. It's not, it's actually for the brakes. That'll be the demonstration kit there.
Hopefully one from Josh. Try to do some of this time, come on. Big nothing there from Josh. Risky that
19. There's a dump truck here. This turned into a loch in the space of 15 minutes. The downpour was amazing, and yeah, the guy.
So these lorries, I think, are going on to the arena for a parade. There's so much going on in the centre arena. I just see whatever, basically. I'm kind of interested in having a closer look at this again now. So I've come on the best day, I think, on the Sunday when you can actually see them moving. Some of them will probably just be heading, I'm not sure if they're just heading back or what, heading home. But there's still a few on the list, I'll take the pages. I've been here 3 hours already. Didn't feel like it, but I've been here 3 hours. Still a lot going on at the moment. Probably still a lot going on for a wee while yet. But they're not just static exhibits now, they're actually moving, so you get to see them and hear them and see them moving. I think if I came both days, I think I'd be absolutely exhausted, to be fair. So I got here on a time that suited me the best, and I feel okay. If I try and overdo it and try and do too much, I'd just be exhausted and fatigued, and I've done that before. So I see what I could see, I see what there is to see when it suits me best. So I've enjoyed myself so far without overdoing it. It was like the exhaust system. Switching from silencer to on silence, I think. There's a switch that does that. So it sounds good when it's unsilenced, like. Nice sound off it when it's, nice roar off it when it's unsilenced. straight pipe, basically silencer delete. So I mean there's literally hundreds of lorries, maybe even thousands. So that's me just getting to the other bit of the side of the arena now. There's so much, like I mean it'd take you like a fortnight. You'd certainly do 2 whole days to, you know. So I could see an unlimited banger car in one of the lorries as well. It's a familiar sight. There's a motor show after all, so it's an unlimited banger in there. So as you say, you can see anything at the Truckfest. It's a stretch limo, 182. If you know me, I'm a big banger race fan, so I did spot that quite easily. But yeah, it's a motor show, so yeah, why not? It's the lorry it's on as well, so you see everything here. GMP, it'll be the race wall. Not sure when they're racing that one, but this is the place to be if you want to see lots of lorries. Truckfest. One of the years I met Alec Tabagoski and Lisa Kelly from Ice Road Trucking, Canadian show. It was on years ago now, it's not been on for a while. But I met them here, also met Rick Yam from Ice Road Trucking as well, at one of the events here at the Truckfest. So yeah, selfie. You do that because you can get a selfie with that as well. Certainly the first time I've done a YouTube video at Truckfest, so the last time I was here would have been before 2020 because I only started doing YouTube in April 2020, so and I haven't done a Truckfest YouTube video yet. This is the first time, so it was probably, I don't know, 2018 maybe the last time I was at one of them. Been a few of them, these Truckfests and that over the years, like, but it was maybe 2017, 2018 was maybe the last time I was at it. But yeah, I used to come to the Truckfest a bit easier in the earlier 2000s, like 2004, 5, 6, before 2008 anyway, because I was working in the weekends, you know, I had the weekends off. I was working in a factory and I was able to get to these things more often. But now I'm working on the buses, the shifts and that, the Truckfest tends to always fall in on the weekends on, so I haven't been going so much since then, but maybe the odd few now and then. But it was always expensive to get to these things, but it was amazing. It's been always going to be a good turnout. Of course, the lorries evolved through the years as well, so there's always something new. When you have the vintage vehicles, obviously they'll be maintained all the way through, remain that way, but you get the later lorries being on display as well. So it's like a museum. You get new artefacts, you get new lorries. So sounds like something going on at the arena, but I'm not too concerned with that. I'm more sort of interested in seeing the lorries, see the arena at a later point. But they used to have a big grand parade at the arena. I don't know if they're doing that today or not. I'm just quite content looking at the lorries and seeing, because there's plenty of them. I'll see what there is to see basically. So get a selfie with that as well, I think. lorries in the background. There's a lot of Volvos. Volvos, Scanias, DAFs, Mercedes seem to be the leading ones. And there's lots of them, but I've seen plenty of those. There's lots of plant machinery and equipment here as well, big crane. Overhead boom arm there on the crane with a big winch on it. Hoist and pulley system. Go. All the hydraulic and pneumatic airlines. There's a coach here as well. That'll be for whatever mobile home kind of thing.